We have two exciting players coming up in our next match. I know you know a lot about Chloe Fatsis.
Chloe obviously is somebody to follow because not only is she an up-and-comer, but she's a fellow female, identifies as such, so I will say this that way. I'm obviously good friends with her father, Stefan Fatsis, the writer, and who's written, for people out there who don't know his book on Scrabble, it's iconic and legendary and must be read. And so this is his daughter that he's brought up through the ranks over the years, and she used to follow him to tournaments. And of course, he was the big expert, and she was doing her best. And now, as we hope will happen with our children, is that they will surpass us, and that is what Chloe is doing. Her word knowledge is growing by leaps and bounds every time I see her. Her understanding of the board is growing by leaps and bounds every time I see her. So she's going in exactly the right direction.
She is just such a strong player. I think she's looking to go over 1900 for the first time, and shortly after that, we're going to see her go over 2000.
Everybody, strap in. We are about to see game 2 of the afternoon.
Karl had some awful tiles, threw 5 of them back before I could even really look at them. And Chloe is looking at some very common bingos here that she'll find in no time.
Yes, so the easiest one are the ones with welders and weldors and Warsold and all that. But if she really wants to test Karl and show us her word knowledge, if it's the right play, Wilders is the way to go, because it's Wilder you would think is Wilder Wildest, but it actually takes I think it means wilder, like to bewilder. I'm not sure. It takes an S. So personally, I would play Wilders to try to get the challenge.
That also puts an E on the star, but this puts an E in the double-double lane, so either way it's dangerous. We'll try and get from the chat, from the producer, if that's an E or an O that's been circled. Either way, it puts Chloe out to an early start, and she circles the O, so maybe that's a bit of trying to test his word knowledge there. Chloe's probably going to try and get rid of her clunkier tiles here. Gawk somewhere would be nice if she can find it.
Well, gawked to the E in welder, the first E, saving ES seems to be kind of ideal.
Yeah, that looks really strong. That's exactly the sort of play I'd be looking to make. It scores nicely, it leaves nicely, and it's already set up on a rack.
Well, the question is she looking at gawks to the S, or is she going to stick that D and get the double? And
I think she has to play gawked. Yeah.
There's nothing to think about here.
Yeah, the whole play doubles. So for that reason, you have to play gawked over gawks, as she does.
And very smartly not taking time thinking about it.
Enterons is valid, isn't it, from the E?
It's, Tenoners and Enterons are the two bingos in that rack. That's a very well-known rack.
Oh, she made it an O. I'm so sorry. I'm wondering why Enterons hasn't come down, and that would be very clearly why we...
There you go. Another reason to have made it into an E.
Right. I promised the chat that I would make more mistakes, and I already have. Stern Sun, another possibility. Instead, she plays Norteños right down the middle. It's been challenged. It's going to cost him his turn. So this is going to be a 120-point deficit plus tempo here. Big swing early in the game.
It's not a pleasant feeling. Oh, no, she's picked Powwow.
Oh, Piragua.
She picked up Piragua to the S. Oh my God.
So we'll see if she found it. I saw it even before she turned her tiles upright. One of these strange words, but as you mentioned, Chloe's got great word knowledge. Really funny comment here by Mac in the chat. Maybe Karl thought it was an E. Maybe that's why he challenged. Maybe he thought it was Norteens. He challenged awfully quickly.
No, she found it. Not a question.
Yeah.
So now Chloe's going to take like a 200-point lead. The only good thing for Karl is that it's early in the game, relatively early. Maybe we're a quarter of the way through. How many tiles are left? But the board is becoming extremely blocked up. If she had to play off the S and open up the other side, he would have been a lot happier. But she's just closing up the board completely.
Yeah, like after that, the P double-double lane is still there, and he'll probably look to open maybe the bottom left with some sort of underlap play, something like if he can put those H's beneath. But That is another big play. So if you're Chloe here, I don't see a bingo. And if you don't see a bingo, you probably want to get rid of the X because it's not a bingo tile and you're holding that blank, so you'll be close. If she didn't have the blank, then maybe you want to hang on to the X a bit longer to really,
Right,
set it up
right.
or get a big spot. But when you have the blank, if you play off E, O, or just Pox instead of Expo, that's totally good too. But VT, that's going to bingo,
Well, creative. I mean, without even thinking, right? So
right? And
it's
if
just,
that
it's
gets
all
blocked,
happening. It's all happening
she
for her
has
today.
over bingos from the O and Photic. So
So what we're seeing with Chloe is extremely impressive. Creative is just such the obvious bingo, but what is she doing? She wants to maximize her score. She wants to get the V on the double letter, and she's done that with a very unusual word, which shows that she's been studying. This is a word that comes up on Aerolith all the time, and it's servalat. That's an L. And kudos to Chloe for not only studying, but for finding it during a high pressure game. Good for you, sweetheart. I'm really happy.
yeah, and for being so modest while putting down like her fourth bingo of the game when we're just over the halfway point. And she just said she was drawing provisional, so she is on hold. He is challenging it, and you know what? It's going to hurt because it is valid, but he has to. If he's not 100% sure, you just have to challenge this play.
If I just had a fantasy, like I was playing her across the board. If I was playing her across the board, and even if I was getting killed like I am in this game, I would look her and say, I am so proud of you for knowing that word, for finding that word.
Chloe fishes off AN. She's getting, even closer there. Chloe's now going to see if there's a bingo with the E or the N that she just got, and there is, and she has found it.
Victoria, Victoria, away.
You know what? It's her fifth bingo of the game, and hats off to her. She's playing great. I know that when you know these words, these aren't exactly the hardest plays, but she has put in so much work to get to this point, and she's risen so quickly, and she's having a great tournament, and just so happy for her here.
My goodness, so many tiles left, and she's like, "Oh, look, they're talking to each other." You're at that
Yeah, they're
point.
laughing.
You folks all know this point when look, she's picked up a Z to go over the A in Tintoria. When you get to
Right.
the point where you're not even like you're starting to have like a like let's just have coffee and gossip, like
I guess at this point we should be on the watch for like a 600 game or a six bingo game. There's a lot of big things that she could achieve in this one. And then she finds another beautiful play, extending or to orzo. So finding that like rice-like grain there. Even though I didn't deny, that's a nice play. So
very pretty.
pox to poxy and fits that in right there.
Okay.
Okay, so we are on to Chloe's turn. You see what she drew, don't you? You already said this word just not even a minute ago, like through the
D
V.
voices. She's got D voices
Yeah.
and
So it's
diocese.
very rare to see six bingos in a game. I think in a tournament I've only done it once, but this would be six, wouldn't it? Or is it only five?
Let's see. We've
I guess
got
just
Wellers, Martinez, Paraguas,
five.
Cervelat, and Tintoria. It would be number 6.
Yeah. So this would be quite the accomplishment. Um, we'll see if the spot stays open. I think it might. Uh-oh.
So
This is
why
going to
he
be a
doesn't
lot of
play?
spread. He
Well,
only
he's got
played two, which means she's going to get all the points off his rack times two plus the
yeah, yeah,
D
yeah.
voices. Or diocese now fits. Or is it diocese? It's
No,
a
diocese is fine. But where does it
that's how
fit?
you pronounce it. Yeah.
Oh, it fits
Like it's,
across there. Oh my God.
yeah,
Mo would
exactly.
have been Mo would have been a better play, honestly, but he had the case A, so maybe that's what he was thinking. So she didn't even have to. She didn't have to see D voices, and she didn't give
No.
us an indication. seen it, but I can't
I
imagine
think
she
my
would.
guess is she had found it, but
Of
this
course,
she had probably also
of course.
seen that she had a 7, and she's just shrugging. Like she just casually put down 616 points. Just casually found 6 nice bingos. Just superstar play from you know one of the very top players in the world at this point.